Also, an educator means to be wary of the need we may have to overprotect by shying away from our child's spiritual challenges, by diluting or deflecting their spiritual lessons. The guiding principles for an educating parent are: avoid doing for children what they can do for themselves. Do for children what they cannot do for themselves. Okay? This little poster I have here, it's backwards, but you can see the boy there. It says, giving our children everything they want makes them demanding and ungrateful, and they never learn how to be self-controlled. Think about this the next time you give in to your screaming child. You know, the child goes into the store with you, and the child decides that they want this big bar that's sitting there on the stand, right? So he goes over and he picks up the bar and he says, "Mommy, I want this bar." And Mommy says, "No, I'm sorry, you can't have that. No, that bar's too big. You're not going to have that." "But Mommy, I want it." And so they start to lose it, and the kid starts to scream and gets totally out of control. Well, what does Mom do? Now, I've had parents say to me, "Well, I just give them the bar because I don't want them screaming and crying in the store," right? And of course, we know that's a mistake. And the proper thing, I think, to do, and the stuff that I've read about, says that don't give in. Instead, you take the bar, put it back on the shelf, and if the child doesn't listen, then you pick the child up, leave everything you have in your cart, just leave everything there, pick up the child, and leave the store. Now, I've experienced this myself. I didn't get very far before my little grandson said, "I'll be good, Poppy. I'll be good. I'll be good," and never had a problem after, right? But the problem is we tend to give in, and we gotta stop doing that. Discipline is so important. So allowing a child to take on a new responsibility without expecting perfection, but encouraging him in his early efforts, builds confidence and responsibility, two essential virtues in his moral fiber. Having him pour his own milk, at first with your hand over his, then on his own, and then acknowledging his responsibility builds honest self-esteem. Your being responsible, pouring your own milk, will be met with a proud nod. So what if he spills a little, right? He's given it his best effort, So a little bit of forgiveness there on our part, I guess, It takes wisdom to know the difference between those times when we are to encourage our children to stretch and times they need our direct help. A tender scene we witnessed was when a father was speaking with his 9-year-old son about spending time with a friend who was encouraging him to steal. "Son, what happens when you're with Randy?" The boy sat very still and said, "I just feel tempted to take the candy. I just do what he says." Honesty is really important, son. "Would it help if I stopped you from seeing Randy for a while?" The boy began to cry tears of relief and said, "Yes, Dad, it would." Dad held him for a while and then said, "I honor you for your honesty to come and tell me about this and to know what help you needed." You see, that's another thing. It's very important. Like when kids are small and they come to you to tell you something, it may not mean much to you. It might just be, that's just little kid stuff, right? Just kid stuff. But you should stop and listen to what the child has to say. Because if you do that, as the child gets older, they will continue to come to you with issues and problems and things that they're facing in their life. And then you have an opportunity to assist them, and to put them back on the right track, like this dad did here, This parent could have tried another tactic, asking, "What would help you to be assertive with Randy so that you do what you want instead of listening to him?" Although we want to support our children in daily teachable moments, we need to be aware of times when they are unable to handle a situation. Watch carefully for signs of readiness. If they are not prepared to handle a situation, we must handle it for them or with them. We don't throw them to the wolves. Whether it involves monitoring TV programs or the movies they watch, other children whose influence they are not prepared to resist, or too much free time on their hands. We need to be aware of what is appropriate for our children to handle and what they are truly ready to handle. Okay? So, I mean, if you just put a TV in the kid's bedroom and they go to bed in the evening, the door is shut, and they turn on the TV, you don't know what they're watching, especially with these handheld devices, with iPhones and, all kinds of different things and iPads. Let me tell you, you don't have to type in very much to see very inappropriate stuff coming up on these screens. So, Mom and Dad, you have to monitor that. You have to know what they're doing. I know there's protection that you can put on there, software that can prevent things from coming up. So you can put in certain words that if these words were happen to be typed in, it wouldn't bring up anything. So, it's just being aware and behaving in such a way that a kid will come and talk to you. And when they're in university, they'll call you. They'll call you in the middle of the night and discuss things. And that's okay, isn't it? That's okay. Because that's what you want. That's the opportunity to help. Because if they keep it all inside, I fear what could happen, right? So I got a couple of little exercises here, and this is going to be an A, B, C. You pick A, B, or C, whichever one you think is the correct one, okay? So here's one. Your 12-year-old daughter wants to stay overnight with a girl whose parents are often away. She's only 12 years old. She is in a somewhat rebellious state lately, and you are concerned she may not admit if they are to be unsupervised. She might admit that, right? So what would you do? A, call the parents to find out if they will be home before you give her permission to go for the overnight. B, ask her if the other girl's parents will be home before giving her permission. Ask her. If she's in a rebellious state, she's probably going to say, oh, yeah, they're there. They'll be there all night. Oh, yes, right? Or C, tell her no because she cannot be sure the parents will be there. Which would be best, A, B, or C? And if you picked A, you would be correct. Call the parents to find out if they will be home before you give her permission to go for the overnight. Okay, that's then being a responsible parent. And just one more here. Your 9 and 10-year-old children beg you to let them see a movie which you feel has inappropriate language, violence, or sexual scenes. All their friends have seen it. That's what they would say anyway, right? A, you might as well let them. They will feel like they'll feel left out and different if you don't. B, explain to them that you don't support violent images going into their memories. Once those images are there, they will stay there forever. C, try to convince them it is wrong to see it, but leave the choice up to them. So which one did you pick? If you picked B, then of course you're correct, right? Explain to them that you don't support violent images going into their memories. Once those images are there, they will stay there forever. And that's what you don't want. So again, you can see why it's very important to be monitoring what your children are doing right from the early years. So that as they get older, they will have, I hope, now develop the morality and the self-esteem and the self-discipline and the confidence that you won't have to worry so much about what they're doing, right? Because they'll be holding themselves to account. And bottom line, that's what we want, right? That's what we want. I just want to read this little thing here to you. Here's the picture. Fill your children with good thoughts before they go to bed. Ask them about their favorite part of the day. Praise them for a good deed. Pray with them and tell them they're the best gift God ever gave you. They'll fall asleep feeling 10 feet tall. And that's a quote from David Young. Wow. Love it. Love it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I think I learned something too. The virtue pick for today, and it was mentioned in what we just went over when he spoke to the young boy. The virtue of assertiveness. At that point, I'm wondering, did the boy know what assertiveness meant? And I'm assuming he did, or Dad wouldn't have used the virtue in those terms, or he wouldn't have said the word that way, right? So, the virtue of assertiveness. So here's a quote, right at the beginning, from Luke 12, verses 6 to 7. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 small coins? Yet not one of them has escaped the notice of God. Even the hairs of your head have all been counted. Do not be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. What is assertiveness? Being assertive means to be positive and confident. It is knowing that you deserve respect. That's important. You deserve respect. Everybody deserves respect. Assertiveness begins by being aware that you are a worthy person created by God. So, you deserve respect. You are a worthy person. You have your very own special gifts. Only you have your unique combination of qualities. We're all different, aren't we? It's funny how you say we're all different, but yet we're all one. When you are assertive, you tell the truth about what is just. You don't follow others. You think for yourself. If someone is trying to hurt you, lead you into trouble, or influence you to do something you feel is wrong, you protect yourself. You show the strength not to let others hurt you or influence you in negative ways. Assertiveness is asking for what you want and need. Assertiveness is expressing your own ideas, opinions, and talents. When you do this, you serve the world in your own special way. You are using the gifts God gave you. Don't allow, it's like the boat on the ocean, right? Things will be said about you maybe. You'll hear all kinds of negative talk. Well, if you think about the boat on the ocean, going through a storm, a hurricane, let's say, and the waves are pounding against the boat, those waves are not going to affect that boat unless it gets inside the boat. That's when the boat gets into danger. That's when a boat could sink, right? Well, it's the same with us. It's the same with people. When all of these things go on around you, if you allow it to get inside of you and allow it to affect you, that's when it hurts you. And that's when, not so nice things can happen to individuals. So it's almost like the bucket fillers in a sense. You put the lid on your bucket, You can't control what other people are saying, but you can control how you respond to it, okay? So why should we bother to practice assertiveness? Without assertiveness, we would be passive. We would let others boss us around. Without assertiveness, we would just react to the things that other people expect of us. Others would tell us what to do and what to think. We wouldn't stop to figure out what we want, need, or think. And, we just talked about that little boy. Randy was telling him what to do, and he was following Randy because he didn't have this assertiveness. He wasn't able to say, no, Randy, I'm not doing that, right? So he needed to, practice the virtue of assertiveness. If you were too passive, you would allow others to hurt you or get you into trouble. You would not be able to set limits that keep you safe. The trouble with being too passive is that your special way of being and thinking would remain unexpressed, and the world would be a poorer place. Without assertiveness, you might be too aggressive, You would try to control others, push them around, or hurt them. You would feel bad about yourself. You would be a bully. When you are assertive, others respect you. You're offering your true ideas and feelings as well as protecting yourself from things that can cause you harm. When you are assertive, you choose what you will do for reasons of your own. God made you the way you are to play your special part in the world. Just as each instrument in an orchestra is needed to make beautiful music, your part is needed in the song of life. Wow, that's just absolutely amazing. So how do you practice assertiveness? To be assertive, you need to remember how worthy you are. You need to remember how worthy you are. You stand up for what you know is right. You don't allow others to treat you unjustly. You set limits with others by letting them know what you will and will not do. You listen to yourself and decide for yourself. When you have ideas, you speak out, even if you feel shy. You are your own leader. Being assertive does not mean you control things or always get your own way. It means that when someone asks what you think or how you feel, you don't just tell them what they want to hear. You honestly and tactfully tell them what's true for you. And tactfully really is kindly. Tell them with kindness. When someone suggests something that makes you feel uneasy, might hurt you or get you into trouble, you stop and think. You tell them you won't do it. You don't let other people bully or hurt you. You get help when you need it. You also avoid being aggressive. You don't need to hurt or boss others to feel important. You remember the one-of-a-kind, unique combination that you are. The Creator wants you here as a blessing to the world. And that's everybody. Okay? There are no exceptions to that rule. The Creator wants you here as a blessing to the world. That's why you're here. So please, keep that in mind. Okay? So, the signs of success, you know you are being assertive when. Okay? So congratulations. You are practicing assertiveness when you recognize you are worthy of respect. Again, everybody. No exceptions. You think for yourself. You tell the truth about what is just. You ask for what you want and need. You set boundaries about what is right for you. You freely express your thoughts and feelings. And here's the affirmation. I am assertive. I think for myself and I do what I feel is right. I tell the truth about what is just. I know I have the right to be treated with respect. You have the right to be treated with respect. Everybody does, okay? And the thing about respect is, in order to maintain your character, regardless of what people are saying, you still maintain your respect for those people. But that does not mean, if somebody is treating you in a criminal way, that's not just, right? So it's important to maintain your character. This one here, I just want to say this. Which bottle are you? I don't know if you heard this before, but you take a bottle of water and a bottle of soda, okay? Shake the bottle of soda and then take the cover off. Psh, explodes, right? Take a bottle of water and shake it all you like. Take the cover off and it's still calm. So which one are you? Are you the bottle of soda that as soon as something happens you explode? And that's bad when you have children around. Like, you don't want to be exploding at your children, right? And you never know what's going to come out of you because what's in you is what comes out. Try to be the bottle of water. Try to be calm all the time, eh? May not be always possible, but if you're conscious of it, then you give it your best shot, right? So, which bottle are you? Be the calm. A quote. This is the simplest quote ever by Sammy Davis Jr. He said, "Yes, I can." That's it. Yes, I can. I love that one. Very important. This one by Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your permission. No one can make you feel inferior without your permission. Since you are like no other being ever created since the beginning of time, you are incomparable. Brenda Euland. So, here's what I want you to do then. Think about this with your family. Talk about it with your spouse and children or whatever. What happens to people that are too passive? And what happens to people who are too aggressive? Okay, so passive, pushed around. Aggressive, being a bully. We need to be assertive. Make sense? Okay, well, that's it for today, and I hope it helps you in your thinking and the way that maybe you apply yourself from here on in, and that you will practice the virtue of assertiveness. And, try, and again, the best way to teach your children to be assertive is to practice the virtue of assertiveness with them, So, and you'll find that they will respect you more, right? Anyway. Okay, I'll be back on Monday at 10 o'clock with another Virtues Peak and another little bit of stuff from the Family Virtues Guide. So stay safe, and I will talk with you again on Monday. So bye for now.